Now to this very important conversation, and it spotlights yet another Nigerian doing great things for Nigeria and on the global scene now, for the global space as well. We're joined by Ambassador Chris Wanero, who's the Vice Chairman Committee on Rights of Persons with Disabilities, as a Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to Sao Tome and Principe. Good morning, Ambassador Wanero. You're welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning, and good morning, Nigerians.
I think congratulations will be in order. It looks like every year comes with congratulations for you, and it's great to see the work you're doing. But I'm very intrigued by your story as well. I think that's one thing a lot of people might not really appreciate. I mean, this started when you were in your 300 level. Am I correct? You lost your sight in 300 level, and it was, I imagine it was quite challenging for you. So for a lot of people thinking you just got here by happenstance, you didn't, did you, Ambassador?
Of course. Really, whatever happens in life, God knows why, and God is always on our side to ensure that if you work very hard, you will certainly get there. And it's just by the special grace of God, and we've been able to work to this extent. And credit to our country, Nigeria, for nominating me into this great position, which I contested and won and have brought victory to Nigeria. So it is a thing of joy to thank God. It's a journey that started long ago. And today we are celebrating, Nigeria is celebrating, and we're celebrating Friends of Nigeria and the global society, people with disabilities globally, they are celebrating because of this great victory. Thank you.
So, Ambassador Wanero, speak to us about what this means. As I said earlier on, your charge d'affaires of the Embassy of Nigeria to Sao Tome and Principe, but you made history. Yes, you were already elected, or you won the election as a member of the CRPD committee last year. But just yesterday at the United Nations headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, you were elected as vice chairman of CRPD. So what does that mean for Nigeria, for people with special needs and specialized attention, and for the global space as well?
Okay, really it means a lot. Being elected as a member of the United Nations Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disability is a global organization in the United Nations that caters for the needs and rights of people with disabilities globally. And it means a lot for us because getting there, there's lots of things that we are going to attract to Nigeria. Ensuring that the rights of people with disabilities are implemented. Implementation is very important. You know, bringing the access, bringing technology, bringing inclusion, what we call inclusiveness in everything, politically, economically, and otherwise, is one of the major things that we are going to attract from the United Nations. It's a committee of 18 members drawn from different parts of the world to different continents to represent their countries and their continents on issues that concerns disability. So when I was chosen last year by the president, I was nominated by the president to go and contest. I was equally an African endorsed candidate. I went there, contested, and I won the victory because I know that the challenges people with disabilities are facing, because I was not born blind, I'm legally blind. I lost my sight in the university, and since then I've been working tirelessly, because they say, see who wears the shoe that knows where it pinches. Having seen the pain, the discrimination, the marginalization, the non-inclusiveness of people with disabilities in the scheme of things, I decided to see what I can do to get these things right. So now that I was elected in New York on the 11th of June, 2024. Yesterday, I was elected again at the first time, newly elected member, because I was elected to the position of a vice chair of the position. So we have a lot to gain in Nigeria, in Africa, and the people with disabilities globally. Based on my wide experience and career, I've grown to the level of an ambassador. I'm charge in the Nigerian mission in Sao Tome and Principe, and in the disability world, I have done great things in trying to ensure I was on the driver's seat. So once, bringing, getting acts into law, which the government of Los Angeles signed. So these are the things that I
All right,
do
Mr.
that
Wanaro.
made them nominate me.
Okay, I would like to find out what your focus will be, given this position now, especially for the continent that you proudly represent, because I think I was listening to President Trump yesterday, one of his pressers, and most of the time when you hear conversations at that level, Africa is not in that conversation. Africa sometimes looked at from the charity point, from the partnership, which undertone means exploitation in some cases. And so we always need people in the room to make case for us wherever we have the opportunity. Now we're glad you have a seat on the table to make a case for people with disability, by extension, the African continent. What will be your greatest focus and what will be the legacy you would like to leave?
Number one, I will ensure that people with disabilities in Nigeria, in Africa, will not be living on charity. They will see us as normal human beings. That's the stereotype, and the way they look at us, it should be a thing of the past. What we need to do is to engage more in advocacy, more in empowerment, training, and retraining of people with disabilities, empowering them in various skills, making sure that the money domiciled in UNCRPD will be able to bring them to ensure that people with disabilities in Africa and in Nigeria in particular will benefit, greatly. Ensuring that their education, free education for them, getting the technology that is used globally in the Western world, bridging the gap between the global north and the global south is one of the things I'm going to bring. The global north has gone far ahead of us when it comes to issues of disability. When I was in US, where I served as a diplomat, I was in charge of trade and investments in our embassy, the consulate of Nigeria in New York. During that period, I benefited enormously from United States of America. They gave me everything that I need, the technology that I need to work with, irrespective of the fact that I'm a diplomat. So they did all this, and at the end of the day, I need to see how our people here in Africa, in Nigeria, will benefit from this technology. There are lots of things you mentioned, they don't know about it. There's this all caught my eye. There are so many other things that you can think of that our people need, Omni reader and all that. So our people don't know about it. Even hearing aids, there are invisible hearing aids that you put inside your ear, you'll be able to hear clearly for those who are hearing impaired. And other things you can think of. So we need to bring these things and bridge the gap between the global north and the global south by making people with disabilities everywhere to be happy and live a normal life.
All right, Mr. Warner, congratulations again on your appointment, and your mission is, lofty. But what is the strategy that you'll be deploying? And I ask this because, the backstory is that, there are many interventions that international institutions have provided in the past for persons with disability. But more often than not, the challenge is that these interventions do not get to those who really need them in communities, in clusters where you find persons with disability. So what strategy would you be deploying in order to achieve the desired impact in areas where they need them the most?
Really, even personally, I have done so much to make sure that I will bring to bear the assistance needed, the interventions needed for people with disabilities in Nigeria. And knowing fully well that we need to get to the grassroots, we need to make sure that these people will benefit. And that's why I'm one of the major things I want to do, which I've already communicated with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, is to ensure that we'll be able to have an office that will interface between United Nations and the disability in Nigeria, disability organizations or DPOs, disability people organizations in Nigeria. So we'll get across to this through this office, reach out to the local governments, reach out to the states, reach out to the, even the zonal bodies to ensure that what we are attracting, the interventions we will be bringing, we reach to the main people that needs them. It's not the issue of getting this and people somewhere will be able to manipulate them. But based on my experience and what I have done independently that made Nigerian government to recognize me, to nominate me for this position, I'm believing strongly that the interventions will reach out to the right people, especially technology, especially education, accessibility, and what have you. These are the things that if our people will have opportunity to have them, they'll be able to enjoy. For instance, in the Western world, there are vehicles that have elevators for people on wheelchair. When you get there, the vehicle will come down, you roll in your wheelchair and move to where you're going. A blind person have access to navigate everywhere with your mobility cane and all that. When the driver sees you, they know what to do to make sure that you are. So these are the things I'm going to make sure that these interventions we get to the people that matters.
There you go. And we hope that these things can trickle down even to the rural areas, places that are a bit on the fringes. But we have to thank you so much, Ambassador Chris Wanoro, Vice Chairman, Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, CRPD. Thank you for your time and wish you the very best in this new tenure.
Thank you very much.